10 Horrifying Real-Life Encounters from Reddit. Hey there, fear fans! Welcome back to another spine-chilling episode of Scaratastic. Today, we've got a special treat for you, true scary encounters straight from the depths of Reddit. These stories are so terrifying, you might want to keep the lights on tonight. The online dating disaster. Our first true tale comes from a college girl who dared to venture into the world of online dating. After setting up a profile, she connected with a construction worker named Dan who seemed nice enough. They met up for a date at a restaurant, and while Dan was a bit dull, there weren't any major red flags. Until the next morning, when our protagonist woke up to a barrage of angry texts from Dan, escalating into violent threats. She blocked him, but he had her address. For days he stalked outside her house, texting photos proving he was there. She finally went to the police, and only then did the stalking stop. Let this be a lesson: be careful who you meet online. You never know what kind of unhinged individual could be hiding behind that screen. The demonic visitor. Imagine being a little kid, playing in your bedroom, when you look out the window and see a terrifying creature. It's pacing back and forth, snorting like a bull, and staring right at you with glowing red eyes. That's exactly what happened to Isaiah. His dad burst in and they started praying, but this thing just laughed at them. It even spoke, saying "hungry" in a chilling voice. That's enough to make anyone sleep with the lights on. The creepy maintenance man. When you're a babysitter, you expect to deal with some mischievous kids. But what about a creepy maintenance man who's secretly renting out the children he's supposed to be watching? That's the disturbing reality one mother discovered when her daughter started having night terrors. Turns out, the babysitter's house was a front for something much more sinister. The gas station stalker. Ladies, you know that uneasy feeling when a guy just won't take no for an answer? Well, imagine that guy following you to a gas station in the middle of the night, trying to break into your car, and threatening you with a knife. That's the terrifying situation one woman found herself in. She managed to escape, but not before the stalker grabbed her leg and tripped. Talk about a close call. The roofie scare. A free cruise sounds like a dream come true, right? Not for this travel agent. She thought she'd scored the deal of a lifetime until one of the passengers started acting strange. He was way too friendly and even tried to hug her without permission. Then, at dinner, she started feeling dizzy and sick. Turns out, the guy had slipped something in her drink. Always watch your beverages, folks. The photo shoot from hell. When you're a model, you expect to work with some eccentric photographers. But what happens when the photographer turns out to be a total creep? This model found out the hard way when she agreed to a photo shoot with a guy who seemed professional at first. But then he started making inappropriate comments and even tried to force her to take off her clothes. When she refused, he chased her with a knife. Definitely not the kind of exposure she was looking for. The hitchhiker's revenge. You know how they always say never pick up hitchhikers? Well, this story is the reason why. A couple was driving home late one night when they saw a man on the side of the road. Feeling sorry for him, they decided to give him a ride. Big mistake. The man started acting erratic, mumbling to himself and rocking back and forth. When they finally got him out of the car, he screamed at them, "I'll find you." And sure enough, a few days later, they saw him walking down their street, holding a rusty machete. The catfish killer. Online dating can be a great way to meet new people, but it can also be a breeding ground for catfishes and creeps. This woman found that out the hard way when she started chatting with a guy who seemed too good to be true. He was handsome, charming, and successful. But when they finally met up in person, he looked nothing like his photos. And that's when things took a terrifying turn. He pulled out a knife and told her she was coming with him. She barely escaped with her life. The stalker shrine. Imagine finding out that someone has been secretly obsessed with you for years, to the point where they have a whole shrine dedicated to you in their home. That's the nightmarish reality one woman faced when she stumbled upon her stalker's Tumblr page. It was filled with photos of her, love poems, and even pictures of her family. The worst part? The stalker had been following her since 2012, and she had no idea. The psycho neighbor. When you move into a new neighborhood, you hope for friendly neighbors. But what happens when your neighbor turns out to be a total psychopath? This family found out when they moved in across the street from a woman named Lucy. At first, she seemed nice enough. But then she started acting erratic, yelling obscenities and throwing tantrums. Things escalated quickly, with Lucy blocking their driveway, following them around, and even sending her kids to vandalize their property. Talk about the neighbor from hell. Well, there you have it, 10 true scary encounters that will make you think twice about talking to strangers or going out alone at night. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content.